Good evening. It is Monday, August 17th, 2020, 6 p.m. Time to call the Garden City Council meeting to order. I will lead us in our invocation, our pledge. So at this time, let's pray. Father God, I thank you for this day. I thank you for the opportunity to come together to conduct the business of Garden City. I thank you for the watch care that you give over our city and our country, and we just pray that you continue to guide it and just be in this meeting we have tonight. And we just give you all the praise and honor. In that name I pray. Amen. Please stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time I ask the clerk to call roll.
Mayor Bethune.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Kicklighter. Here. Councilmember Daniel. Here. Councilmember Lassiter.
Here.
Councilmember Morris.
Present.
Councilmember Ruiz. Here. And Councilmember Tace.
Here.
Thank you. We have one public hearing. It's PC 2012 zoning text amendment. Receipt of public comment on an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances for Garden City, Georgia, as amended by amending Chapter 90, Article 2, therefore to add the permanent and temporary storage of salvage cars or vehicles to the permanent uses listed in Code Section 90-47, which use shall be permitted in I-2 zoning districts in Garden City, Georgia, subject to certain restrictions, to repeal all ordinances in conflict herewith, to provide an effective date, and for other purposes. I'm going to open up this public hearing, and Scott is beating me to the punch, and he's ready to tell us what this is all about. Go ahead, Scott.
I am ready. As you well know, Garden City is a hub for many things, including the export and import of salvage cars to other countries. We're seeing increasing demand for this industry in Garden City, and as such, we're looking to enhance our ordinances, not only for the aesthetics and cosmetics that need to be improved in this area, but also for the general sites themselves. The city attorney has been gracious enough to look at the ordinance and increase some safeguards for us. That would include fencing and other items. I think this is going to be a continued growing sector in Garden City, and so that's why we'd like to be prepared for the future. So I ask for your consideration in the text amendment.
Questions for Scott?
Nope.
Nope.
That's a good idea.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, good job. We didn't have anyone to sign up, so I'm going to close this public hearing. We're moving into our regular business, approval of city council minutes, motion to approve the pre-agenda workshop session minutes dated 7/20/20 and council minutes dated 7/20/20. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, voting on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. We are into our city manager reports right now.
Okay, couple things here. First of all, the monthly staff reports are all included in the agenda packet, summarizing all the activities for the different departments for the month of July. If there's any questions there, we certainly can address those, or we can follow up with you all, with the department head. But once again, all this summary of activities is shown there. Moving on to the next item, the status report about City Hall, city facilities reopening to the public. Not much of a change, Scott, in terms of what we've done in terms of reopening. I think the big news item in the last 48 hours has to do with masks. And I sent you all some information today that GMA has provided the staff and Jim Gerard guidance on kind of how we can move forward with the governor's latest executive order, specific to various activities, but most importantly, how masks are going to be implemented within the city. And for those of you that followed the news, you know that the mask, I don't know if it's a mandate, is out there, but certainly the governor has given local governments enhanced ability to regulate that kind of activity, even on private property, so long as the owner of that business is consenting to such an action. So we're going to be studying up on that, Jim, in the coming days and trying to see what we need to modify. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the mayor entered a declaration yesterday adopting pretty much the wearing of masks in public places subject to the restrictions that the governor placed on them. And you just mentioned one, it certainly doesn't govern. Exempt people are people that can't wear a mask because of medical reasons, religious reasons. We can't force people to wear them on residential properties. As you said, that businesses, we can't enforce the declaration on businesses unless the business owner requests so. And then he's got to post a sign outside his premises indicating that, no one's to come in without wearing a mask. But the order that the mayor entered yesterday pretty much goes along the executive order that was entered by the governor. We might want to tweak it to adopt some of the recommendations of GMA, but pretty much, I looked at the ordinance, pretty much the order that was entered pretty much hits on the highlights.
So anyway, that was, I think, the biggest news regarding COVID-19 status report is this mask mandate that's out there now. Is there any questions for Scott or any of the staff regarding the latest on COVID-19 issues?
One thing I might say is that the ordinance and the governor also states that warning tickets are supposed to be initially given to people who aren't wearing masks, and the police are supposed to be providing free masks to anybody who can't afford one. And it's supposed to be, it's pretty flexible. They're not going to, and the fines would be, they can't exceed $50 an event. So, and you're not in danger of going to jail or anything like that. It's just to protect people, really, or try to get them to protect themselves.
So are we enforcing the mask policy or not?
Well, the mayor indicated that that's the law of Guard City right now. So I think the police have been
Educating themselves on it, today. And we've got plenty of masks, so we need to stock up we haven't already, our patrol cars, so that if we come across someone, we can provide them a mask. But you guys are getting yourselves up to speed on what we talked about earlier, which was enforcement of it. So.
Yes, so ultimately, we're looking for voluntary compliance. Essentially, it's going to be warnings, because at the end of the day, the one issue somebody is taking. So we're going to assist with getting the word out. We're going to ask people to comply, and those disputes, we'll ask them to comply, we'll give a warning, and then if it's absolutely necessary, we do have the power to do it, but we're not out there aggressively looking to do it.
Now, if someone is exercising, walking, riding a bike, jogging, that is not required at that time frame, correct?
The key is compliance within groups.
Okay. Anything else, Ron?
No, I think that covers it on COVID-19, but I would like to go and do a very important thing here and recognize two employees, Robert Mack and Benny Googe, who are going to be retiring at the end of this month. Come on up, gentlemen. And
We're going to miss some.
just a little bit of background on Benny. He joined us as an equipment operator going back 2006. Got promoted to assistant streets foreman in 2007, senior streets foreman in 2007 later in the year, so you had a good year in 2007, Benny. Public Works supervisor in 2008, and then he was promoted to Public Works director in 2011. I remember when that happened. So, and he's been our Public Works director ever since, and he's done a fantastic job. And he and I have really worked well together, and I'm going to miss Benny's companionship on a lot of the issues we deal with. But I understand that you want to do a little more deer hunting and a little more fishing. That's right. Robert Mack, he joined us in 2012. Heavy equipment operator. He's also driven the street sweeper for quite a bit, and he's gotten real proficient on both our regular backhoe, our mini excavator, as well as all the heavy equipment in Public Works. And we're going to miss Robert and his skill set in the Public Works Department as well. But gentlemen, we thank you for your years of service here. Wish you a lot of relaxation and retirement. And if you get bored, just give us a call. We'll get a shovel in your hand or something and let you do something, right? But anyway, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll miss you. Danny, we're gonna miss you. Yeah.
Anything else, Ron?
That's it, sir.
Okay, we got a number of items for consideration for ordinance zoning text amendment. I'll ask the clerk to read that by heading only, please.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinances of Garden City, Georgia, as amended by amending Chapter 30, Article 1 thereof, to add to Section 90-5 the definitions of wood chipping, shredding, and mulching, and to add wood chipping, shredding, and mulching to permitted uses listed in Section 90-47, which use shall be permitted in I-2 zoning districts in Garden City, subject to certain conditions, to repeal all ordinances in conflict herewith, to provide an effective date and for other purposes.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for approval.
Motion made and second, and we talked about that earlier. Any questions for city manager? Voting on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes on the first reading. I'm going to entertain a motion to suspend the rules of council.
Make a motion to suspend the rules of council for second reading.
Second.
Motion made and second. Voting on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ask clerk to read it by heading only.
In order to amend the Code of Ordinances of Garden City, Georgia, as amended by amending Chapter 30, Article 1 thereof, to add to Section 90-5 the definitions of wood chipping, shredding, and mulching, and to add wood chipping, shredding, and mulching to the permitted uses listed in Section 90-47, which use shall be permitted in I-2 zoning districts in Garden City, Georgia, subject to certain conditions, to repeal all ordinances in conflict herewith, to provide an effective date and for other purposes.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for approval.
Motion made and second. Voting on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes on the second reading. Resolution Chatham County Emergency Operations Plan. I'd ask the clerk to read that by heading only.
A resolution by the mayor and council to authorize the city to adopt the January 2020 Chatham County Emergency Operations Plan and to authorize the city's mayor to execute the plan.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and second. Ron, do you have any comments on that, please?
Yeah, this is a plan that we periodically adopt in conjunction with Chatham County. Deals with all hazards that we could be involved with, man-made or natural, within the community, and provides a coordinated response strategy between us, the state, private sector, and so on. And this is an important thing for us to stay current on, as this action tonight will do.
Thank you. Any questions for Ron? Voting on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution P8 Strategic Garden City Holdings LLC Development Agreement. I'd ask the clerk to read that by heading only.
A resolution by the mayor and council to enter into a development agreement with P8 Strategic Garden City Holdings LLC for the development of properties on the east side of Old Dean Forest Road between Interstate 16 and Pine Meadow Drive, to authorize the city manager to execute an agreement for said development.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
Ron, you have some comments for us, please?
Just a contract between us and a developer who has to do a lot of off-site infrastructure improvements, and we just want to make sure all those commitments are firmed up in writing ahead of the project moving forward.
Thank you. Any questions for Ron? Voting on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution Coronavirus Relief Fund Agreement. I'd ask the clerk to read that by heading only.
A resolution by the mayor and council to authorize the execution of the Coronavirus Relief Fund Terms and Conditions Agreement, to authorize the acceptance of grant payments, including all understandings and assurances contained within such agreement, to direct and authorize the person identified as the official representative of the city or the designee of the city to act in connection with the grant application, and to provide such additional information as may be required.
Entertain a motion.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Ron, you have a overview of that?
I'll defer to all Scott's comments earlier. I thought he did an excellent job of kind of explaining the background of this particular resolution and why we have to move forward with it to meet the September 1st deadline.
Okay. Motion made and second. Vote on the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution Community Garden, 2nd Street. I'd ask the clerk to read that by heading only.
A resolution by the mayor and council to authorize the execution of a lease pursuant to which the city shall rent certain property located at 4115 Second Street in Garden City, Georgia, for the purpose of maintaining and managing a community garden thereon.
Entertain a motion.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion made and second, and this is just something we're doing for the community, plant a garden, and, hopefully grow some vegetables.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to work with the community to get this program stood up and perhaps serve as a model for the rest of the city to get into this kind of activity.
Other comments from the council?
I think this is a wonderful idea, and if this works out and there's a larger, what's the word I'm looking for here?
A lot of land?
Yeah. Maybe later we could utilize parts of Haynes' property if there's big demand for it.
Okay. Other comments? Voting on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Resolution, Public Works Department and Water Sewer Operation Vehicles, I'd ask the clerk to read that by heading only.
A resolution by the mayor and council to enter into a purchase contracts with J.C. Lewis to sell the city 3 2021 F-150 crew cab trucks at a total price of $90,078 and one 2021 F-350 regular cab truck at the total price of $36,438.84, and to authorize the city manager to execute the purchase contracts.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
Motion made and second, and this is just some new vehicles we need, and we have the funds to purchase them, Ron?
Yeah, this was a 2020 budget item.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and second. Vote on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Resolution, pavement repair contract, intersection of Main Street and Foundation Drive. I'd ask the clerk to read that by heading only.
A resolution by the mayor and council to award a contract to R.P. Baker Construction in the amount of $25,750 for the road repair work at the intersection of Main Street and Foundation Drive, and to authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for approval. Okay.
Motion made and second. And Ron, if you'd give us an overview.
Yeah, the pavement damage at the intersection, Main Street and Foundation Drive there, off of Highway 80 is quite extensive, and as you all have commented, your own personal experience, it needs some work and repair efforts, and we'll move forward with R.B. Baker to get that done and try and improve that intersection.
Okay. Any questions for Ron? Have a motion and second. Voting on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next item is FY 2020 fee schedule revisions. I'd ask the clerk to read that by heading only.
Consideration by mayor and council to approve revisions to the city's FY 2020 fee schedule.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
And Ron, we're just putting our fees in line with other municipalities, basically.
As it relates to city fire marshal services, yes, sir, and just updating a couple other sections to be consistent with some of our neighboring jurisdictions.
Any questions for Ron? Voting on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. We had no one sign up for our informal public comments, so we have none there. Is there anything else that needs to come before this group tonight?
9 o'clock tomorrow morning, here in this room, we'll be
I forgot all about
reconvening. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And we're gonna meet in chambers here, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else we need to bring forward? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.